Hey, I love Bloodlines, the video game. I think anyone that has been with my channel for long enough knows this. And even though I'm no longer playing through Bloodlines on my channel every single year, I am still active in the community and I play the tabletop version of Vampire the Masquerade quite often. And in fact, I'm gonna link it down in the description down below. If things go right, this April, I should start starring in a live play on Commodore Z's Twitch channel in a module called Capital District After Dark. I will be playing a Tremere, which is a magical vampire. It's both a wizard and a vampire. Hooray for somebody not familiar with Vampire the Masquerade. If things don't go to plan, then Commodore Z is still a great storyteller, so his Twitch channel is worth checking out. If things do go to plan, the slot that we're planning to have it on is Mondays at 9 p.m. EST, which for me is like 2 a.m. in UK, but that's fine because I'm nocturnal anyway. That wasn't like the point of the video, but I thought, look, I found this awesome thing on Reddit. I want to add to it. I do want to do a bit more cosplaying in Infinity Nikki this month, so it kind of just aligned really well that I thought I may as well like throw it out here. And of course, if he uploads it to YouTube, he's gonna tag my channel, so whoever subscribed to me, you might find the live play in your subscriptions regardless. Anyway, back to the main topic of the video. This is Jeanette. She is a Malkavian, which means that they tend to have like future seeing powers, but also they're slightly insane. If I was to sum up Vampire the Masquerade vampire types very well, this is Therese, which is Jeanette's sister. She also has the exact same affliction,
and in fact they're one and the same. Sorry for giving you spoilers to a video game that's over 20 years old now.
This is a cosplay that's very impressive, done in Infinity Nikki by a person on Reddit. Regina, O2 Regina 67. It was incredibly impressive, so I wanted to show this off. This is their version of Jeanette. And this is their version of Therese. And honestly, they have done an incredibly good job. I have linked their whole post in the description down below. You can go, give it an upvote, leave them a comment if you want to support nice creators, especially if you're a fan of Vampire the Masquerade, just like I am. Anyway, I saw this post and I thought, what if I tried cosplaying inside Infinity Nikki? And what if I tried cosplaying Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the video game, in particular? Cue this! Whatever this is. Well, I do know what this is, or what it's supposed to be quite specifically. It's supposed to be the Toreador main player character, the female version, because you could like select your vampire type, like your vampire clan, and whether you're male or female. So you will be able to see on the far left side on the screen what that Toreador female character looks like inside Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and this is what she looks like in my game. Honestly, the moment I saw this top, even though it's not exact, I couldn't stop thinking Toreador from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now, unfortunately, the more I tried to cosplay Bloodlines, the more I realized how many outfit pieces we don't actually have in Infinity Nikki. For example, this pair of jeans is obviously not exact. The reason for that being is we don't have practically any low-waisted jeans. Y2K cosplays just can't happen inside Infinity Nikki. We don't really have many low-waisted skirts either, especially long skirts. I could find one, but you can't dye it, which is another problem. So Infinity Nikki, we need Y2K items like yesterday. I would absolutely love them. I think I've done a good job with her boots. And I think I've done an okay job with her makeup and her haircut. This is another thing that we do not have in Infinity Nikki. Short haircuts that end at around ear length that do not have bangs. It's not a thing that we have, which is really irritating. I tried going for small details, like the fact that she seems to have some glitter on her arms. So I put some glitter on my Nikki's arms, and for the photo shoot, I took her to BibCon's Chuckle Club. So she's standing in front of like a guard there. She's trying to act nonchalant, like she doesn't care. She sits on a chair, trying to look like she doesn't care. Because if you don't know, inside Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Toreadors are effectively the pretty and the artistic ones. Which also means that oftentimes they will be divas with an inflated egos. They can't really stand looking at anything ugly, and they're very picky about what they like. But also, when they do like, they sometimes like a little bit too much, and they can be very fickle and go from like to like. So, Toreador that's into pretty people might accidentally make quite a few vampire babies. Because they will be like, oh my god, that person's so pretty, I gotta have them, I gotta like keep them around as my muse. And 2 weeks later, they find a new one. Yeah. That's the personality of a Toreador. It doesn't mean that that's how you have to roleplay them, but that's like the default personality. So like, if you play something else, then you add to what you're playing effectively. Like, I am a Toreador, but I'm not shallow. Or I am a Toreador, but I find pretty in smarts. And that sort of thing. Next up, welcome to main female character clan Ventrue inside Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I got pretty close, I think. I'm quite satisfied with how close we can get with this dress in particular. What I kind of hate is that on the main character Ventrue female model, her leg slit goes really high. The dresses where you can have your leg slit go that high in Infinity Nikki don't quite match the shape that I need. So this dress had a slit, but still sort of mimicked the shape. And unfortunately, I had to adapt. So she has a thigh-high stocking that kind of looks a bit sexy and flirtatious. My slit only goes up to the knee, so we have a knee-high stocking that attempts to be sexy and flirtatious. I am pretty sure that on the main character, the eye makeup is not this strong, but it is quite there. Like, black on her is still quite heavy. This is the heaviest eye makeup that I could find that was sort of the closest. Outside of that, the outfit is pretty plain because the outfit should scream wealth and money and all that things. And oftentimes when you want to look tasteful and wealthy, you don't also want to look tacky. So less accessories are sometimes better than more accessories. Once again, we don't have the ideal hair because we still have a bang. Well, everybody inside the video game seems to not have bangs, but this hair is about as close as I could get. It has a bit of a green highlight to it if you look at it too closely. We're just gonna pretend that it's not there and not look at it too closely and solve that problem like that. Now, I took her to the mayor's office for her photo shoot because Ventrue are normally leaders, kings, CEOs, corporate people, people in white-collar work, people in high positions. They like to rule, they like being in control, and in fact, one of their traits, one of their abilities is dominate, and that is precisely what it sounds like. It's an ability where they can, like, literally pinpoint a direction into somebody's mind and make them, like, do things. That's their thing. Being in control is, like, their thing. I took her to the mayor's office and I did a couple of tasteful screenshots, one like standing outside, one like sitting and waiting for the mayor, one pretending that the mayor's desk is actually her desk and you are in her office. I really would love a modern landscape right now in Infinity Nikki, like really, really a lot. Everything that we have is very fantasy-oriented, but not only do I want to take very gritty photo shoots, in this case I would have loved a tall skyline with a desk that could be interpreted as corporate desk. It doesn't need to be a corporate desk, but imagine a rich person's personal large office with a lot of windows in a high-rise building. That's kind of like the vibe that I would love if we had, but we don't. And in case that we can't have that for a very long time, I would settle if Infold just kind of gave us some modern building materials for our houses. Quite specifically, something that I could make like a windowed skyscraper out of. And something that maybe looks kind of marble and rich in flooring. Rich people furniture. I can do rich people furniture in this game, I'm pretty sure, but like I need that high rise. I need that skyline, and I cannot find it absolutely anywhere, which is such a shame. And the last cosplay that I am doing in this video is a Brujah. Brujahs are anarchists, they're protesters, they're people with very strong philosophical ideas that are also often enforced in violence. Which is to say that they will stand against another idea very strongly and they won't be afraid to get into fights for it. They tend to be roughed up people, they tend to be streetwise, they tend to be on the ground, boots on the ground. They tend to be regular civilians that are super into a specific cause, be it environmentalism, be it like women's rights or anything like that, rather than white-collar people or rich people. That's kind of your typical Brujah. If you went really far back, then Brujahs would be more like Greek philosophers. Because one of the things about Greek philosophers is that quite a lot of things were also like, quite a lot of issues were solved through things like wrestling, pretty much. So, throwing down fists inside a philosophy class was a lot more normal than people would expect it to be. But anyways, historical tangents aside, this is the best that I can do inside Vampire the Masquerade, inside Infinity Nikki, which is a shame. The hair is not quite flat enough. We don't have a singular beanie. And that like really surprised me. Infold, what do you have against beanies? The best that I could do was like this hat, and I colored the bow red in order to try and hide it a little bit. We also don't have a plain white tank top, and because this is not a very extravagant piece of clothes that she's wearing, it doesn't really have white dye on it, so I can't even make like the flowers go white. And once again, we do not have any Y2K low pants outside of like the pants that I am wearing, but they're a bit too like embroidered with flowers and things like that to really work, but this is like the best jean shape that we currently have. I desperately need more Y2K pants. Need Y2K pants with really low waistlines, like really as low as you can possibly go. That is how low you should go. You shouldn't be exposing the cooch, but like just like a millimeter above is kind of where your pant should end in the correct Y2K gene. Thankfully, well, you can't see it very well, she's wearing dark sneakers, and dark sneakers were very easy to do. We have a lot of sneakers in Infinity Nikki, and I appreciate that. For makeup, I went for a dark lip because she does have a dark defined lip. But her eyes just kind of look a bit tired. They don't look like they're wearing heavy makeup, so I went with a bit tired eye that's not wearing very heavy makeup. For photo shoots, I tried to do Wishfield. Just places outside in Wishfield. What I really need is alleyways, dark alleyways, graffiti, puddles, messy. Modern city messy is what you would want for a character like this. You want places where gangs could hang out. You want nightclubs, perhaps bars. That's the vibe that you should be going for a proper Brujah. But we don't have that. And Wishfield is like the only proper city that we have, and it's super decorated with like flowers and nice pretty little paintings, and it's very clean and well arranged. So I had to do the best with what I had. I tried to take pictures mainly against like walls, and I found one place that has like a set graffiti, but not entirely sure if you can call that a graffiti because it's more of a pretty picture than it is a graffiti. It is a graffiti in the fact that it's like on the wall, but it is the kind of graffiti that like city would commission to be put there, rather than like the kind of graffiti that you would just find organically in like a 21st century city, if you know what I mean. And that's that. That's where I stopped. I really wanted to make a Tremere to honor the character that I'm gonna be playing in the live play tabletop, but, and in case what I mean about live play tabletop is we play the role-playing game as like a virtual table, so like tabletop. So it's things with dice and things with character sheets. It's like D&D, you know, that sort of thing. And live play is the fact that it's like streamed, and we try to act as if we're actors, as if we're like our character. Which none of the people at the table, well, one person would be pretty professional from what I saw, but majority of the people on the table, they're hobbyists rather than professionals. And while the storyteller is absolutely excellent, do expect like a B quality, not like an A quality. Or like, we're just some people. We're not like actors is what I'm trying to mean, but we're gonna try and act like our characters with our webcams on, and with our green screen, and with like proper mood settings, that sort of thing. It's very high grade compared to just getting together in your pajamas with your friends. So, before I went on a tangent, I wanted to make a Tremere, which is like a vampire wizard, but not a singular piece of clothing that girl was wearing was something that we have. We do not have a long haircut that's parted not in the middle, but on the side, and doesn't have any bangs, but it's just a tiny, teeny bit wavy and ends at the shoulders. We have nothing that's even like close. From what I could tell, every single long haircut is parted directly in the center, or it is an asymmetrical, like a pigtail or a tail, that sort of thing. It's not like just loose hair, but like parted at the side. That's just really not a thing. Secondly is she tends to wear a fitted purpley t-shirt blouse sort of thing. So it's It's a bit more of a formal material than just like a t-shirt, but it is effectively t-shirt shaped. We don't have anything like that. Third thing is a dark Y2K, which means like really low-waisted, long flowing skirt. We have one skirt that could sorta qualify, but it is pink and you can't dye it. And she also has square glasses, and we do have square glasses, square tiny glasses, but hers are sunglasses, so it's like completely dark. We don't have that. We don't have a singular piece to make that character with. So one thing that I have learned on this journey is that I really would like us to have more 21st century materials. I really appreciate all the old-fashioned that we're getting this patch, but I want more. I want more modern stuff. I want more types of pants. I want more types of long skirts. I want more tank tops. I want more t-shirts. I want more simple hair that's without bangs. I want more hair that's not parted in the middle. I want a beanie hat, for goodness sakes. I want more types of sunglasses, especially small and dainty sunglasses. Make my goth girl dreams come true, Infold, please, and add more modern clothing. Anyway, this has been one of those videos that I said I was gonna make this month for the sake of funsies. I hope that it was fun to watch, because it was definitely fun to cosplay. Have you tried cosplaying anything inside Infinity Nikki? If you have, please share your journey inside the comment section down below, or let's appreciate Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines as a video game together, because the community that appreciates Bloodlines and the community that appreciates Infinity Nikki, I'm assuming it's a niche amount of people. So I would love to see where that crossover is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters, and toodaloo for now.